Next time you want to buy Nike, buy Allbirds. Or not. Today, we're talking about the merino wool runners. The Allbirds brand started when Tim Brown was wondering why merino wool wasn't being used in the footwear industry. Merino wool is an extremely soft, natural, renewable material. The brand strives to respect nature and use all natural materials. They want to offer people a better alternative to cheap and synthetic options that we have today. They're a B Corp, which means that they've earned and maintained an average from an online assessment which considers social and environmental aspects. Now let's talk about design. Their design is simple and straight to the point. They went for something minimal. Basically, instead of shouting logos and, details and colors, they went for minimal, straight to the point. They trusted their product and they said, this is it. This is the Allbirds. They use all natural materials like merino wool. They also have a eucalyptus tree pulp version. And basically these materials it's so that the shoes are machine washable. So you just pop them in the machine and then, takes care of the rest. You don't need to do any scrubbing or anything else like that. Shoelaces are made with plastic bottles. Now, they didn't start out like that because the first versions of their shoelaces were synthetic. And then they were like, what the hell, our company is all about let's be green, let's use all natural materials. So what they did is they tried to switch to recycling plastic bottles to create their shoelaces, to manufacture their shoelaces. But then the manufacturers said that it cost 3 times as much. So they were like, let's do it. 3 times as much, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna start producing. It's gonna lower the price. Lo and behold, that's what happened. The runners cost $95, which is cheaper than synthetic cheap options that we have. So you also get an okay deal. Some reviews online point out the fact that the material, the upper, is quite thin, and so you can see your toes moving inside the shoe, and some people don't like that. Also, they point out that the wool kind of attracts, or fur and dust will kind of cling on to the wool. That's not great. I haven't tried them, but I do have a pair of tree runners here, which I will show you now. Just give me a second. Do you see? These are the Allbirds. They're quite lightweight. Alright, let's open them up. Here we go. Tree dashers. So these are the tree dashers here. Now, the upper looks really nice. Honestly, to be really honest, they feel really nice, and they look like, like the modern sneaker or like what's fashionable today. Here it says, a breeze to wash, just put your shoes in a delicate bag, washes on gentle, and air dries. Great. Now to be fair, the shoe looks great, the design is really, really minimal. They have their trademark like bird eye thing here, which I think is nice and original. The sole looks really cool. I think it just gives me a little bit of like a feeling of like it's a little cheap. I don't know why. I feel like it's plasticky. I don't know if this is latex. There's not much information about what the soles are made of or how they're made. I'm sure, because they talk about using sugarcane polyethylene for their flip-flops. They use sugarcane polyethylene, but I'm not sure if they do the same thing for the soles of their shoes. But here it is. Yeah. So the company's HQ is in New Zealand. They manufacture their uppers, they treat the wool, and they treat the eucalyptus pulp in Italy. But then their box says, made in China. I don't know if you can see that. Made in China. I don't know if you can see it. Made in China! What? Yeah, I was thrown off when I saw that, because I was super excited to have really cool, eco-friendly shoes. So this company emits 7.6 kilograms of CO2 per shoe. CO2 is a gas that we emit when we do things. So like, for example, a car will emit CO2 because of combustion. Basically anything that we do today will emit CO2. And the idea is to reduce that because CO2 is a greenhouse gas and you don't want it in our atmosphere in the amounts that we are producing it. Normal sneaker will emit 12 point something kilograms of CO2, and Allbirds have lowered their emissions to 7.6, which is awesome. They're planning on reducing it even more. They're planning on cutting down even more of their out of their production, out of their manufacturing, out of their distribution. That's really cool, and they're trying to go carbon neutral and even someday be carbon negative. Now, I don't know how that happens when you manufacture in China, and you're going from New Zealand, and then you're going to China, and then you're going to Italy. You're assembling them somewhere somehow, and then you're distributing all over the world. Don't know how much CO2 that emits, but I'm guessing quite a lot. They try to offset their carbon footprint, which is something that a lot of companies are starting to do, which is basically you either fund projects where, companies plant trees, and then that means that you're, reducing your carbon footprint by, increasing carbon absorption somewhere else. We should remember, and what we should keep in mind from what Allbirds can show us, is that we don't need to wait until 2030, 40, 50, like a bunch of companies are, saying, oh, we'll do this in 2030, oh, we'll do this in 2040. Paris Agreement stuff, and no one's doing anything, really. So we don't need to wait. We can start changing now. We can start a new company with our environmental issues at the core, or even in the sidelines, but they need to be there, and it can't be something in the future. It has to be now. It's not necessarily expensive to be responsible. That's point number 2. A lot of people think that being, organic and being like eco-friendly and, it costs a lot of money, but it doesn't necessarily cost a lot of money, and a lot of the time it'll actually save you money. So yeah, there's like little things that you can do that can save you money, time, effort, even. Some things are convenient the way they are, but to be honest, today, a lot of companies are facilitating transitioning from a consumer's life to a responsible consumer life. So what do you think? Should all products have their total CO2 emissions on the label? Would you consider buying Allbirds instead of other synthetic options? What do you think about all this made in China stuff? Comment below, like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more products every week. See you later!